Good afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to say a few more words about the Epstein case, but really what it means overall. That it's a confirmation that what is right is not going to happen. Being the age that I am, if you would have told me in my 20s that these kind of things happen on a pretty regular basis, I would have said, oh, well, no. I mean, in the justice system, and with the people in charge, I mean, every now and then somebody will slide by, but overall, I mean, people are going to do the right thing. Naivete. Naive. That's what it is. Now that half my life is gone, and I've watched and listened and paid attention, I can't say that anymore. And that's what's so depressing, sad. I mean, I'm not depressed, like clinically depressed, but regarding this issue and things that have happened over the years, yeah, I think it's the loss of hope. The loss of hope in this particular instance when it comes to this. I've watched Patricia Dixon, um, and yes, it is how it sounds. Look her up. I've watched Styx Hexenhammer 666. He's younger. Watch him. I've listened to others and just listened to some people with some common sense who really, really look at it. And for all of these things to fall the way that they did is just nearly impossible, unless it was planned somehow. So, yeah, he's on suicide watch. No, he's not on suicide watch. We just didn't tell you. He had a cellmate, which was a police officer who had killed 4 people. I wouldn't call that exactly a great roommate with a alleged pedophile, but okay. But he had a roommate that could keep an eye on him. They had removed that roommate, I think, the day before. Um, a lot of the information, paperwork was released on past information and things that he had done, possibly. And, okay. Then the 2 guards that are supposed to be watching him, one is not up to par as far as being trained properly. He doesn't have the right credentials. All right. Both of them fall asleep at the same time, so they can't watch him for 3 hours. Um, he is alone with a bunk bed in there. All right, so that doesn't make any sense. You usually should have one bed on a lower. You don't want any jumping from a higher thing, even though it's only 5 feet. And the cameras malfunction during those 3 hours. That's amazing. And he didn't have paper sheets. He had regular sheets, so they wouldn't be the tearaway type to avoid any sort of harm to yourself. Broken bones in his neck usually happens normally in strangulation or where you're going to use something stronger than a bed sheet to hang yourself, like a belt in the case of Robin Williams, or maybe jumping from a higher case. But even if you don't jump, something stronger than a sheet could possibly break one of the bones for sure. Multiple ones, probably not. But I'm not a medical person. All these things had to take place for it to be successful. And apparently the story is he was successful. Okay. But also Jeffrey Epstein chose that 3 hour time period with all those things coming together, he chose that moment to do it. That's amazing. Good timing. And being the type of man he was and what he did, and a billionaire or a millionaire, whatever, he has to have somewhat of a narcissistic personality. And life has handed him a pretty good set of circumstances to be able to do whatever he wants, when he wants, how he wants, with whomever he wants to. So, and he got out of one situation where he was convicted. Only 13 months. He could pretty much do whatever he wanted during the day and spend the night in the jail at night. So he had kind of skated by that and got a lesser charge on prostitution as opposed to child endangerment and pedophilia. So I don't know if he'd have given up hope at that point. And if he has any idea of the afterlife and thinking that, oh, it might be a possibility, because I doubt he was a Christian, he might not want to kill himself on what he might face. Or if he didn't believe in Christianity, after you die, there's nothing, so that's not quite appealing. So I can't get into his head. I don't know him, but it just seems unlikely to me. And once again, we're going to have this swept under the rug, because no matter what you say, people in the world have a short-term memory. Once the next crisis happens, this will be swept under the rug and we'll be on to the next thing, and they will have gotten away with it. The only good part of this is that I see more people questioning it on both sides, no matter what their political stance, as opposed to just one side. But there's still so much division. We couldn't all possibly unite and demand the correct answers. That isn't going to happen. So it's just disheartening. It's another case that'll go away, and the official information is what's going to go down in history, and we'll move on to the next thing when all or part of it is a lie. What parts? We can guess. For those of us who have common sense, we can guess at what is a lie. But we'll never really know. And frankly, in everyday life, I can't stand to be talked to like I'm stupid, okay? Anybody with a decent IQ level cannot stand to be talked to like they're an idiot. And the fact that our government, the people in charge, are putting this out there like we're stupid, this story, it's disgusting. It's just disgusting. But they'll get away with it. They always do. They always have. And we'll be moving on to the next thing that possibly doesn't make any sense on the official story. And I don't know when or if ever we'll get tired of it. I don't know when or if ever anybody will truly be held accountable that comes from a position of power and money. And that's a sad set of circumstances, but unfortunately that's reality. I've had my first week at work on something different. I've been exhausted. I had major dental work. I've been in pain. But I'm back out in the world, and hopefully I'll make somewhat of a difference somewhere along the way with one person somewhere. And just trudge along day by day and hope that you make a difference somewhere. Because in a little way somewhere, that you change somebody's life, because in the big picture, that's not going to change with these people. It's just not. And I can only hope that us as American citizens, citizens of the world, wake up, especially in this country, to what's really going on and understand that, you know, no, you're not stupid. What you're hearing makes no sense whatsoever as a collective. And accept it, I guess. And we'll move on to the next BS story that they produce and how it happened. But part of being awake, I hate that term, but woke, awake, is seeing it for what it is. And I think a lot more people see it for what it is than what I thought. And that is a positive, you know, that is a positive. Now, what we do with that information, I don't know. What can we do with that information? I don't know. I have no idea. But one day, sometime, they're going to go too far, I guess, and enough's going to be enough. But in no way do I condone violence of any kind. In no way, unless you're protecting yourself and violence comes on you first. But we've got to have some sort of conversation and communication here, and band together and face reality and do the best we can every day, despite everything else. Have a good afternoon.